Hello, my darlings. With it being Remembrance Sunday, thought we would do a video about remembrance. And it doesn't have to be about soldiers this time. It has to be about children. Some very fortunate children, you could say, or slightly unfortunate as well, because in coming here, they left their parents behind, and unfortunately, they never saw their parents or their brothers and sisters if they didn't travel with them ever again, which is quite heartbreaking in many ways. Earlier this year, in January, all those months ago, I went to see a very profound film called One Life. The story of Sir Nicholas Winton, and this has actually been written by his daughter Barbara Winton. A very unassuming man, worked within stockbroking and banking, and had a week's holiday and went all the way out to Nazi-occupied Czechoslovakia on the brink of World War II. And saw firsthand the plight that these poor children and their parents were living in, and just in concentration, like ghettos. Yeah, they weren't in concentration camps then, they were in ghettos. And they'd been rounded up there by the Nazis and the Nazi Party. He couldn't bear what he saw, could Nicholas. He couldn't understand. He couldn't comprehend the human suffering that he was witnessing. And as one of his sayings goes, if it's not impossible, there must be a way to do it. And Nicholas Winton, along with a team of people that were already out in Czechoslovakia trying to basically move these people into safety, took it upon themselves to set up a kindergarten express, and basically getting the children to the United Kingdom to families who were prepared to foster them and in many cases adopt. Well, we all know what happened in the war. It broke out, and good Lord, oh, the suffering that went on. But they managed to shift children by the truckloads, by the train load. I'll read you the back, so if you don't know anything about Nicholas, you will do. Now, Sir Nicholas Winton rescued 669 children from Nazi-occupied Czechoslovakia at the brink of World War II. Most never saw their parents again. Nearly all left behind were murdered. Awful. Awful. This is his story and their story. In 1938, 29-year-old Nikki cancelled a ski holiday and instead spent 9 months masterminding a seemingly impossible plan to rescue hundreds of Jewish children and find them homes in the UK. Over 6,000 people are alive today because of his efforts. What motivated an ordinary man to do something so extraordinary? And this book, written by his daughter Barbara, explores a 106-year life of an incredible humanitarian, a man whose legacy only came to public light decades later. His life story is a clarion call to choose action over apathy in the face of injustice, and a reminder that every one of us can change the world. when you're faced with annihilation, and that's what Nicky saw, annihilation of these Jewish children by any means necessary, you just can't sit by and allow that to happen. It goes against everything that you are as a human, is to allow suffering like that to happen. Absolutely. I don't think I had a dry eye in the entire movie. And he was just such a quiet man. He didn't ask to be turned into a sir. He didn't do anything that would draw attention to himself. And all his life, he campaigned for the underdog, definitely, and did charitable work and did everything under the radar so that nobody would know about him. But for him, his main goal was saving these children. And the brutality that he saw spurred him on to move even more. And I have to say, the Home Office in this country at first just poo-pooed it, just like, oh, somebody else's problem. Oh, I've got to process all that paperwork. Ugh, somebody else can deal with it. Until Nicholas Winton's mother, Babette, oh God, she's a wondrous woman, storms into the Home Office, basically the processing plant for what it was back then, and just said that she'd been here for all these XYZ years, and quite frankly, pull your finger out, it's not good enough, we need to get these children moved. She's a hurricane of a woman, she's a force to be reckoned with. And she became Nicky's right hand arm here in the UK for getting that sorted. But it's what mums do. We roll up our sleeves, we say, bish bash bosh, this is what's got to be done, let's get on with it. And won't be tied anybody that says no, because we will browbeat you into it until you say yes. Or we'll do the work just to get rid of us. And that's exactly what Nicky's mom did. And Nicky and his basically joined a team that was already established in Czechoslovakia and helped them. And I guess in many ways he self-financed getting these kiddos over here as well, you know. And it's thanks to him that these children are here now. 6,000 people are alive here in this country today, thanks to what he and the team did. Because I don't want anyone to run away with the fact that Nicholas Winton did all this on his own, because that's an impossibility. You need a team behind you. You really do. And if you knew that this was going on in Czechoslovakia and you were a parent out there, oh my goodness me, you would move mountains to make sure that your child was on that train. I know for a fact I would. I wouldn't stop. I would be on the platform every day. My child matters. Take my child. Yeah, knowing full well I was probably never going to see my child ever again. But that's the sacrifices you make as a parent to ensure that your children make it. And I take my hat off, really, to Nicholas for having the guts, really having the guts to just stand up to oppression and fascism. It was a dark time, 1938, wasn't it? When you got to try and move all those beautiful little children across Europe. Just read you just a random section. Anywhere. Let's see, let's get to a chapter. School days, 1989. In June 1989, Nicky met more of his children at an event in London, the international reunion of the Kinder Transport organised by Bertha Leverton, one of the 10,000 German children brought to Britain who wanted to mark the 50th anniversary of their rescue with a get-together. Over 1,000 grown-up Kinder turned up, a huge number, but still only a fraction of those who'd come from Czechoslovakia on the trains that Nicky and his colleagues had organised. For those Czechs who attended, it was an opportunity to meet a pivotal person from that time, who might be able to answer some of their long-held questions. The same happened the following summer at a reunion of the alumni from the Czech school in Britain, where many of those who came on the trains were educated during the war. Yet more of his children turned up, and Nicky and Gret heard new stories with interest and often delight from those who had gone on to have successful and fulfilling lives, despite the appalling adversity they had suffered so young. The school had been established by the Czech government in exile for the refugee children in Great Britain during the war. It had several homes, but its final location from 1943 onwards was at the Abernan Lake Hotel in Llantrwyd, Wales, in Wales. It closed at the end of the war, when most students returned to Czechoslovakia. The school held about 140 pupils, many Jewish, but others were Roman Catholic, Protestant, or without religious affiliation. About 1/3 of the pupils had come on the Czech transports organised by Nicky, though others had fled to Britain with their parents. The pupils at the boarding school became a close-knit bunch, having gone through so much together and becoming like a big new family. This was a very different schooling to the one my father had gone through, which no doubt moulded them as his did him. So that's just a small section. But I couldn't do Remembrance Sunday without one life. Sir Nicholas Winton, as I said, was a very quiet and unassuming man. But faced with absolute devastation of these lives, they would have been gassed, shot, burned alive. That's what happened. It really did. And it's such a shame that he couldn't get more out, but war broke out. But I'm so grateful. I am so, so grateful for the 669 children that you saved, Nicky. And if you've not seen the film, please do watch it. This is a lot more in depth and is quite harrowing in many parts, as you would have expected. If you can't tear up at this book, you can't be human. You mustn't be human, because whether you're a parent or not is immaterial at this point. What matters more are the little children that are within this book, that are and the ones that didn't make it. God bless and rest their souls. I'm so sorry we couldn't get you all out. I am so sorry. Yeah. Anyway, One Life by Barbara Winton, all about her father, Sir Nicholas Winton. If you've not read it, I highly recommend it, and I would definitely put this in my top 100 books to read before you die. Definitely. As I say, save one life, save the world. highly recommend it, definitely. And that's the ISBN number in case you would like to get a copy for yourself. But highly recommend this book. And one for definitely thinking about for Remembrance Sunday, for the children whose lives have gone and the lives that were saved. And I pray to God we never go through anything like this ever again, because it's always the innocent that pay for it. Always innocent children. So, my darlings, if you like what I've done, you can always give me a thumbs up. If you really like what I do, you can always give us a subscribe. And who knows what book I will bring up to us next time. But I do recommend One Life. I really do. On the Day of Days, on Remembrance Sunday. Bye-bye, my darlings. I'll see you next time.